Ciao ragazzi, my name is Anthony. This is Aqueel, match preview writer for
Yep.
Inter Worldwide and now face of the match preview for Inter Worldwide. Aqueel, what is good, my bro, and how you feeling? Because you're looking fresh, bro. The face, the hat, the
Oh,
beard, and that's a different looking logo on that shirt, my G.
yeah. You guys recognize this? Yeah, better get used to it, man. Looks fresh, looks clean. It looks good on the apparel, man. So I can't wait for the new kits to arrive. I think it'll be great. But yeah, other than that, man, I'm doing great. I'm excited. I'm pumped up, especially about what happened last weekend. So, I'm ready to go, man. I hope the team is, and I hope everybody else is ready too. Let's get on it.
Let's get on it, man. To be honest, the crest does look really, or the logo, whatever you want to call it, it looks really good on the merchandise, man. And we had
Mhm.
Shivosh Falahi on the podcast yesterday. Was a great guest, and he said it himself. He said it's going to look really good on all the merchandise, all the different colors. The only one that's not going to look good is the 2D print that we see pretty much on the computers, basically. But in practicality, the logo does its bit, man. So
Exactly.
I'm looking forward to robbing myself of my own paycheck in a couple of weeks' time at the Inter online store. We've got a pretty
Yeah.
big game to focus on, man. It's Sassuolo coming up. It's gonna be a really tough game. But I want to reiterate what I said yesterday and the previous week or so, Akil. Getting three
Mm.
points against Torino, against Bologna, against
Mhm.
Atalanta, and against
Mhm.
Parma. These four games after we had that nice little bucket of beating
Yeah.
Milan and Lazio, different tier sides, we fully expected to beat Genoa, to pump Genoa. But it was after that that I was worried. That
Yeah.
cluster of games from like match day 26 up until now, and we've collected 27 points out of our last 27 points, bro.
Exactly.
We've put our foot on the gas, and if I'm not mistaken, man, we don't look like we're going to stop anytime soon. Akil, what are your initial thoughts going into Sassuolo, knowing that a win would take us 10 wins in a row and would
Yeah.
almost put the foot on the throat of our two
Yeah.
rivals, man?
Yeah, I like you said, a really, really important and crucial run that we're on right now. I think it came at a really nice time, and it's a real blessing that it came at this time because these games are the most tricky ones. You're right smack in the middle of the season. You have these mid-table teams that these matches could go either way. So I'm really glad. I'm really happy that these went in our favor, and we're in good form. Despite the some trouble with the Bologna last weekend, but we grinded out. We got the win. That's all that matters. Sassuolo, again, tricky customer. I think they play really well as a unit. Um, they play attacking football. They're going to press. They're going to come at you. They're going to keep the possession. They're going to move the ball around a little bit. It's going to be a tricky customer, but knowing it gives me a little bit of sense of hopefulness because I know Berardi's not playing. I know their front line is a little shaky right now. So that gives me a little bit of hope, a little bit of um, yeah, hope that we can cluster out another win. We're gonna grind this one out. It's not gonna be an easy game. It's not gonna be an easy fixture, but we will grind this one out. I think we're gonna come out. We're gonna defend deep. We're gonna play on the counter, just like we're actually. It's been working well for us. So it's gonna be that
Yep.
kind of a game, and tricky game. It'll not be easy, but I think we're up for the job. I think.
I think we will be up for the job, and I'm just hoping that we get more goal scoring opportunities than we usually would because
Yeah.
Sassuolo is a side under De Zerbi that is going to attack more than Bologna. However,
Mm.
I am going to put my reservations forward and say that the teams that you want to play at this stage of the season are the teams in the middle of the table that don't have much to play for, like your Sassuolos and your Bolognas. So it wouldn't surprise me if Sassuolo do actually sit a little deeper than they would in the first half of the season if they don't
Mm.
have that driving force forward in attack, especially since you've just said Berardi is expected to miss the match. I haven't seen any updates on Manuel Locatelli either,
Mm.
meaning he will
Yeah.
probably miss the match. I haven't seen an update on Caputo, which means he could miss the match. This could also not work in your favor as well. Football's a funny thing. Sometimes in life, there's 2 or 3 players in the world that are just waiting for this match day to get their chance.
Yeah.
And before you know it, at the end of the day, we won't all be talking about Inter. We'll be talking about, oh yeah, that guy that replaced Berardi. We should be keeping a closer eye on him,
You know,
because he just scored. He scored and assisted.
Speaking of which, I know there's one guy in their team, Hamid Traore. Man,
Yeah.
this kid, 21-year-old Ivorian midfielder. I saw him a couple of years ago at Empoli. I think he's still on loan from Empoli to Sassuolo. The kid can play.
Yeah.
He's a real genuine midfielder. He has that little bit of trickery. I think he's gonna. He played the last game and he scored as well. So he's gonna. I think he's been waiting for his opportunity. I think he's one of those players that we're gonna have to keep an eye on, and I think he's gonna be playing on that right side for Sassuolo, which will be our left side. So Ashley Young, we'll have to keep an eye on him a little close. But definitely, some of these guys will someone from somewhere will step up, and it could be his day.
Yeah, it really could be. So let's talk a little bit about who's going to line up for Inter, because, the lineup, it's not necessarily picking itself, but we know who's not available for this particular fixture. So just below, guys, you can have a look at what our predicted lineup is. And if you need any sort of extra information, you can go to our match preview on Inter Worldwide. I'm pretty sure Sky Sports hasn't released any official lineups yet. It's probably only a few hours away. But when they do, it's probably going to look a little something like this, pals and gals. Handanovic goes in goal. He's going to go the entire season without missing a single game. Better luck for him. De Vrij. Now, the speculation basically was that, Stefan De Vrij was going to miss this particular fixture because I think it was more match fitness at the same time. He didn't have COVID, in my opinion. He tested negative to COVID, if I'm not mistaken. But, there he is right there, looking great with his Player of the Month trophy. Look at him. What a specimen. Defender of the Year. He's our guy. And to be honest, he's the player that you want to replace Bastoni in his post and to just shift Ranocchia into that front of the back three. Aqueel, my question to you is that how you'd line up, considering Ranocchia got 90 minutes against Bologna and actually didn't perform that bad?
Yeah, I think so. I think that will be a safer choice. I think it will be a safer bet. You wouldn't want to risk putting in anybody else like Kolarov or somebody else to slide into that lineup, because again, Sassuolo is going to come at you from the sides. They're going to come from the right side a lot. And you want to put Ranocchia because he put in a good performance. He played played the full 90 minutes, played well, defended well, and one of the thing I would like to mention is Conte said in his post-match interview, said Ranocchia is a type of player who's always ready. He's always up for the challenge, although he doesn't get to play much. But when he's called upon, he turns up and he shows up. He plays with heart. He plays with passion. And we've seen him for so long. He's been there. He's been around. He's one of the old guns at the club right now. So he's definitely going to come in. I think he's going to be in that back three.
Yeah, I would say so as well. He's definitely the safer option, man, because at the end of the day, he's just been there from the start. He's a colossus. He's got that relationship with Handanovic and with Skriniar. And to be honest, I don't really care what position you put De Vrij in the back three. I know he's obviously preferred to head the back three, but he would always be my first replacement, no matter what, to be honest. Let's go back to talking about Sassuolo a little bit as well. In terms of their form in their last fixtures, they've had a pretty tough run as of late. Let's go back to March pretty much. So their last 5 fixtures leading up to this match here, you've got that cliffhanging 3-3 tie against Napoli, which I think went to about 98 minutes altogether. Yeah. Then they had a really disappointing 2-0 loss to Udinese before winning that little nice meaty place 3-2 win over Verona to see who's going to really get that 8th or 9th place or finish ahead of each other at the end of the season. Then dropping the unexpected loss to Torino, and then of course last week's draw, the draw a few days ago to Roma, which I did watch. That was a really open game, bro. This one right here, this 2-2 with Roma, it was a really good game to see. I'm hoping that Sassuolo are a little bit tired going into it, but just basically, Aqueel, where do you see Sassuolo finishing at the end of the season? Because after their matches with Inter, their schedule starts to clear up a little bit. Games against Benevento, Fiorentina, tricky one against Milan, but then Sampdoria, Atalanta, Genoa. I've got a lot of respect for Sassuolo. That's why I'm giving them a little bit of time in this match preview. I like the way they play. I like their manager. I think they've had a good team all season. Where do you think they're going to go this season, regardless of what happens in this game?
Regardless, again, I think they play well. They play well as a unit. They have some these decent pieces in the team, although they slip up sometimes. Like you mentioned, I feel that they're going to be, anywhere from 6th to 9th position, around those 3 position. I think they'll flirt around the 6th spot to the 9th spot. They're going to put up a little bit of a run sometime after our game because their schedule does ease up a little bit, and it's a good side. You got to give them credit. They've been, they've had a little bit of a injury scare with some of their players, but I think they're going to get them back soon. They play well as a unit, man. I really enjoy watching. This is one of those teams that I actually like to watch. The way they play, they have these creative players. They have these good ball movement. It's an attacking team. They attractive team to watch. So I do think that they'll manage a few wins after our game.
Yeah, I think so as well, man. So let's talk a little bit more about our beloved boys and who do we think is going to step up. First of all, let's go to the comments for a little bit. Here we go. Thank you for joining, Steffers. I would put Damian in the starting lineup instead of Young, bro. I think we all would have, and we would have kept doing it even a month ago. But we know how Conte is with his selections. I think he's so calculated, Aqueel, to the point where he knows who he's bringing off the bench at every minute now. He knows how it's going to go. He knows Ashley Young is there to be an annoying piece of shit on the wing and frustrate the living hell out of the right-hand sided player. And when we do inject Damian, man, I don't care what anybody says. Damian has been fantastic off the bench this season. I don't know if anybody notices, but he does not stick in a natural position whatsoever. He is versatile. You might see him pick the ball up 30 meters away from the right wing back position if he's subbed into there. Not only that, he's been able to get into some goal scoring positions as well. So I just wanted to give a nice little plug and respect to Damian. What are you thinking, Aqueel? Oh, can't hear you, bro. You've just gone a little bit muted, man. So sort that out. But I just wanted to go to this next comment here. Sky Sports reported that Damian and De Vrij are starting at the back. Well, if that's the case, then Damian's starting at centre back instead of Ranocchia. And if Sky Sports is reporting it, then it could be pretty accurate. I don't really know, to be honest, if Damian's ready to come straight back in to the starting lineup, because Ranocchia got those 90 minutes under his belt, boys, against Bologna. So maybe let us know what you think in the comments below. If you think that it's not going to go very well with Damian starting. It's only because he hasn't done a shift yet at centre back this season. That's what I'm thinking. It's only because he hasn't been able to start there already. That would be my concerns there, because Sassuolo's going to come at us with attacking momentum, attacking inspiration. So I'm not 100% sure it's the right decision, because I would just personally start Ranocchia if that's my opinion. I'm going to move into the midfield now and wait for Aqueel to get back. Gang business, Raul Sharma, the man. Guys, please make sure if you haven't subscribed or if you're not checking out Uncle Sharma on the regular, you go and do that. But yeah, midfield time. Gagliardini. Ooh, Gagliardini's redemption is what I'm going to call this one if he has a good game. If Roberto Gagliardini can have a good game, we will call it Gagliardini's redemption. Why is that, ragazzi? Because of that miss. 1 yard out, 1 yard out, or even less. I don't know what was going on when he missed that tap in against Sassuolo last season. For a little bit of context, in case our memory is shonky, well, guys, we were up, I think it was 2-1 against Sassuolo last season, and we had a penalty to make it 3-1, if I'm not mistaken, and it was peak. It was absolute peak, guys, because Lukaku does the nice thing, gives the penalty off to Lautaro. Lautaro misses the penalty, and then after that, it's pretty much chaos from there, because we missed the penalty and Sassuolo have a chance. I think they equalize. I actually don't think, I think we missed the penalty, and then Gagliardini misses the tap in to make it even worse. And then we just end up drawing 3-3. And it was absolutely horrible. Oh, it might be in the Bologna game, was it? That's all right. I might be wrong. Aqueel's back in business. But Nick Snock says, don't remind us the penalty was the Bologna game. For some reason, I feel like we had a chance at a penalty in that Sassuolo game as well. Maybe it's just my memory going a little bit topsy-turvy. But now you're starting to make me remember more. The Bologna game was when Lukaku handed Lautaro the penalty. So maybe the Sassuolo game, we were just up. We were just up 1-0 or 2-1. And then Gagliardini misses that tap-in from 1 yard out. And then after that, it was pretty much chaos from there. So, Aqueel, say something so that we know we can hear you. Nah, man, your audio is still not coming through. It's really, really dead. Try and sort that out, man. Gagliardini in the midfield alongside Eriksen and Barella. It should be okay. Should be okay. But yeah, I'm not too sure in terms of creativity because Barella looks really, really tired. So tired to the point of no return. I'm not too sure how he's going to come in this game because he's been really good on the defensive end though. So where he's lacked with the ball in the last few weeks or so, or where he's lacked in terms of his creativity, he would really, really start to hustle back and just be a lot more rough guts in his defensive end. And when he is on the defensive end, making those tough tackles and winning those turnovers, our transition play tends to go very, very well. Yeah, Aqueel, what do you think about Barella, man? His form has dipped a little bit lately. Bro, I'm so sorry, man. We can't hear you still. I'm so sorry. There's like no sound, zero. So it's got something to do with your output or some sort of settings. Barella's, what is Uncle Shama saying? Gallia already redeemed himself versus Sass last time. He scored a sick volley. Yeah, it was. It was on the left-hand side of the box. I remember that. I remember that pretty well. Samer, what's going on? Forza Inter, I feel confident facing Sassuolo. We should be more confident facing Sassuolo than we are to face, what's it called? Bologna. Bologna didn't give us much space. They didn't give us many chances either. Surely Sassuolo is going to try and hit us harder, meaning we get more opportunities on the break. And if so, I expect us to be decisive. I expect us to be very, very, very decisive. And I expect us to be able to, for Lukaku or Lautaro to definitely get a goal each. Gerald says, I don't trust Young coming in as a sub. He can never come in as a sub. He's about as shaky as it gets. And, you know, you want him there at the start to be pushing players, to be knocking players, to be kicking the ball out, to tire players out. We're not looking for Ashley Young to come in and hold the game down. That would be silly of us. Raspadori is a player to keep an eye on. He was pretty good against Roma. He is actually pretty good, especially when he's got some space on the ball as well. Should we give it another crack of kill?
Yeah, let's try it.
Gotcha. I can hear you perfectly.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, awesome, bro. Awesome. So what are we up to? Gags is going to strong arm the mid. That's the reason Conte's going to put him in there, man, to win that midfield physical battle. I saw a couple of people say we should be starting with Sensi instead of Gagliardini. I can tell you right now, if we go into this match with a Sensi, Eriksen, Barella midfield, we are going to be ransacked into the ground. Barella is going to have to do a lot of that physical hold down, a lot of that defensive transitional play. And Stefano Sensi, good goal for him on the national team, Aqueel, but can't be trusting this guy to be jumping in at 90 minutes yet when we're still fighting for the Scudetto, right?
Yeah, not at the moment. I wouldn't trust him right now. I think Gagliardini is a safer choice. And, you know, you just said it perfectly. You know, Barella will have to do a lot of sweeping work at the back. And, you know, before this international break, I just want to touch back on Barella's form. You know, we talked about this, like, you know, how Barella has been playing every single minute, every single game, and he's been tiring up. You know, those legs are obviously tiring up. And when we went into international break, he missed out that one game, that came back and played that the other game. So yeah, you know, I think the fatigue is setting in a little bit. You know, his form dipped a little bit in the last game, but he's the type of player who's going to kick himself and, you know, push himself to that limit and, you know, come back stronger. So I think he's going to come back real soon, probably this game. You know, he's a great midfielder. He understands that. He's matured. So he's going to do that. But at the same time, Sensi, I think, could be a good option off the bench. Probably late 70th minute, you know, 75th minute, you can bring him on if the situation obviously allows it. But other than that, starting, I think it has to be Barella, Eriksen, and Gagliardini. Much safer.
Yeah, look, I wouldn't be completely opposed to a fit Arturo Vidal starting. I seem to forget, and a lot of fans seem to forget he's on the team at the moment. So yeah, if he's on the bench, great. I didn't realize he was on the bench until he started. I saw him walking at halftime against Bologna, all track suited up, ready to go. So if we are winning the game by a goal or two, then there's your perfect substitution right there. You throw in Arturo Vidal to make sure nothing gets by that midfield, and you throw in Alexis Sanchez as well to make sure that nobody's going to stop us in the transition. Alexis Sanchez's form, Aqueel, lately, he's getting back to his creative best, the kind of Alexis Sanchez that we really wanted to see. What are your thoughts on
Yeah.
him, man? Because I know for a fact we're going to extend his contract and he's going to be at our club next season. That's going to be awesome as well, bro, to keep that
100%.
momentum for Alexis.
100%, man. Alexis Sanchez, man, every time he comes on, it is just, a fresh of breath. Like, it's so good, man. He is so energetic. He's one of those players that, uh, wants to prove himself. I think he's out there to prove his doubters. He wants to prove him to himself that he's still got it. He's so hungry on the ball. He's so energetic. He always wants to get on the ball. He drops down to that third, that around that midfield area. Looks up. Always want to go forward. Always looking for options to like get into that scoring positions. His movement is good. His energy levels is really good, and he's been staying healthy, and that's a big thing. And again, Conte, he's using him. He's obviously doing it with every player, but he's using him as that, that little injection in the second half to pump up that, attacking going forward. You want to use that. You want to use Alexis Sanchez if your team is looking to slow down. If Lautaro is getting tired or getting a little fatigue setting in, you pump in that Alexis Sanchez, and there, boom, your team is on full force again. That 100% energy comes on, and he makes other people look around him good too. He had a little bit of a struggle with a little confidence, a little bit of finish, but that's normal. That happens with everybody. But I think he's going to be a great asset. I think he's going to stay next year. And I hope he continues his form, continues that hunger, that energy. He's been great. I love it.
Yeah, fair enough, man. It's a weird one, man. I'm nervous, but I'm also excited at the same time. Oh, we got 17 people in here. I didn't realize it jumped from 7 to 17. If you're in here, can you please like the video? That actually helps a lot. Takes 1 second out of your time. Thank you very much, ragazzi. It's a game where I just want to see us grab it by the neck, bro, right from the start. I want to see us come out firing. I want to see us really penetrate their goal like no tomorrow. And I want an early goal, because if we can get an early goal in this game, I'm talking like opening 20 minutes, 25 minutes. The rest of the game is really going to fall into our place. I wasn't the biggest fan of, because Conte is getting even more calculated than normal now. That match against Bologna was a textbook maths equation on his book, man. Like, as soon as we grabbed that first goal, he was just like, literally give them the ball. They suck. They're not going to do anything with it. Any other year, that game ends 1-1 with an equalizer in like the last 10 to 15 minutes. And I was confident that we were going to hold on to 1-0. But from the 85th minute onwards against Bologna, man, it brought back some real post-traumatic stress feelings of under Spalletti. And so yeah, man, I really want, what I've been telling everybody, Aqueel, I'd love a 2-goal lead going into the last 10, 15 minutes, man. A 2-goal lead, and it will change everything. What do you think?
Absolutely. First of all, they have to come out with a little bit of an attacking mindset. I think the way Sassuolo is going to play, they're going to come at us. That will give us the opportunity to play them on the counter, and that works for us. Opens up a lot of space for Lukaku to run at them. I expect us to have our first goal within that first 30 minutes. Like you said, I think it would be a great idea. We get that goal. We let them have the ball a little bit. They're going to keep the ball. I expect them to have more than 50% of the possession, probably around 55, 60% possession of the ball, which is fine. They can have the ball all they want. But at the same time, we expect, obviously, as fans, we want our team to, hold the ball, get the scores, and, finish the games off early. But I think going to the second half, you want this team to, get a 2-goal lead against Sassuolo, because they're not going to stop. They're one of those teams that have, absolutely nothing to lose, absolutely nothing to gain. They're right in the middle. If not, they're going to push for it. So get that 2-goal lead in, defend well, do not make mistakes. Like last time against Bologna, Brozovic gave that foul in the very, last few minutes, unnecessary, totally. Got booked, missing this game. Bastoni again. You don't want to do that. You don't want to crumble at the last minute. Just hold your nerves, finish the game strong, get that 2-goal lead in, and just hold them off. If you do your basics right, we can get this. We can get this done with the 2-goal cushion.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I want to see. Sub-Zero, what's going on? My brother, always in the chat. What happened to Perisic? Let's piggyback on that with Samer. Perisic should start on left wing back. Honestly, he's been solid for us. Yes, he has, but dude, he's. I don't know if he's completely out of the squad, but he did not enter the squad for Bologna, and it was said that he's either really fatigued, or just not match fit. Something must have happened on national team duty. He must have taken a small knock or something. But that's okay because it doesn't look serious. And what's going to happen is we've kind of been on this tightrope for the last maybe 3 or 4 weeks where we've had 4 players on 3 yellow cards or whatever it was. Bastoni and Brozovic have been one booking away from suspension for the last 4 games, and they both copped it in the space of 2 minutes against Bologna, which isn't too bad. They're going to have to miss games eventually. I think Conte was actually hoping that they wouldn't have to miss a game until we mathematically tied it up. But that's fairy tale stuff, and we've got the personnel. Like, this is not an excuse at all. Missing Perisic at left wing back is a loss, but it is not a detriment to getting 3 points. I don't care what anybody says. Players like Lukaku and Barella this season are slightly irreplaceable. But Ivan Perisic, as good as he's been for us, is still replaceable. Would you agree?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And this is one of the things that, we've been talking about it all season. The depth we have, the personnel that we have this season, that really gives us this advantage. Like, anybody besides your top 2 strikers, your Barella midfielder, right, Hakimi, and the back 3, everybody else, we have a backup for them. If Perisic can't go, Young can do the job, especially when you're playing, you have this cushion of lead against your opponents. You have, your team is playing well. The overall unit has a good morale, good confidence. You can throw in that one player in there, especially Young. Young has, again, tons of experience. He did okay against Bologna. So there's absolutely nothing that, I don't see anything why, any reason why Conte wouldn't go with him. And Perisic, again, I think he picked up an injury in the international break. That's why he's not 100%. But once he's fit, he'll be back in and it's actually 10 games to play. And, with the COVID situation and with these yellow cards and suspensions, you don't want to have any reason or any slip-ups at this point of the season. You want to have your team, and it's good that Young is playing right now. It's good that Ranocchia is playing right now. It's good for them. It's good for the team, knowing that I'm a huge fan of reading the match interviews and post-match reviews and stuff, and it kind of gives you the feeling of the team and the team's morale and how they're feeling. You saw the team after that win, how rejuvenated they were, how they celebrated. And after the game, the interviews, they were all talking about high confidence stuff. They were talking about we got this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna get this done, we're gonna finish the job. So everybody is on what single page, is on the same page here. Whether it's Perisic or Young, I think if we play good as a unit, I think we will do it. We get the job done.
I hope so. Samuel says Barella needs rest, bro. 100% he does, but he's not going to be rested until it's pretty much wrapped up. Conte's just pretty much at this stage. We've got one job: field the best 11 players possible and get the result. We could see Alexis start ahead of Martinez. I highly doubt it because Alexis off the bench is a much bigger impact than he is when he start. And yes, Sassuolo do have about 3 to 4 key players out, and this can work either one or two ways. Either Sassuolo is not able to transition attacking-wise anywhere near as efficiently as they usually would without Berardi, Locatelli, and Caputo, or they've got 3 players who've been licking their lips waiting to get on the pitch, and they absolutely ransack it. So we'll see which way it goes. I'm hoping for the former. Barella and Lukaku are both 1 yellow card away from suspension. Well, that's one way to completely fuck my mentality into this. Sorry for the language, but that's the first worrying sign that I've seen altogether. Really, Chef Steffers, can you just double check that for me right now, since you're the one who posted the comment? I need you to confirm that for me, because if they're both 1 yellow card away from suspension, that's a little bit rough. I
think Barella is. I think Barella definitely is, because during the Bologna game, I think it was late in the second half, and they were about to counter, if I remember correctly. and Barella didn't get a foul, or they didn't get the call for the foul, and he was super angry at the ref. And I'm like, God, just stop it right now, dude. I don't want to pick up a card right now. And that would have been the worst situation, man. But he didn't, obviously. So, yeah, nerves. You got to hold on to your nerves at this point of the stage.
Look, it's going to be okay, even regardless if one of them gets a yellow card, man. As you said, we're at that point right now where we've got the reinforcements ready to come in. I'm sure this is common knowledge with the squad. I'm sure Conte is reiterating to everybody in the dressing room, even if you're getting no minutes, you're just as important as the players getting 90 minutes every single week. Winning a league title, brother, is a cohesive effort. You can never, ever put it down to one or two or three. You put it down to structure, to organization, to consistency, to mental and psychological resilience. That's how you win league titles. Winning a league title is almost an entire different sport to winning a cup competition in football, in my opinion, man. It requires a whole different level of strategic direction, a whole different level of focus and consistency. What up, Robin? Into 4-1, and finally Kaku hat-trick. Apparently Damian starts over Kolarov at left centre-back. Look, I just don't want Kolarov to start. At the end of the day, shift De Vrij out to left centre-back and put Ranocchia to head the back three, or put De Vrij back in the middle to head the back three and put Damian at left centre-back. I'm not opposed to that whatsoever. I'm pretty sure a couple of times or a few times he played in a 3-5-2 or in a 3-4-3 at Manchester United, and did actually play some time at both wing-back and centre-back. So, yeah, we'll see. I just double-checked it. Barella will get a yellow card so he doesn't have to destroy Cagliari. That's what I was about to say as well. If these yellow cards are going to be calculated from here on in, we've got these two options. Either get the yellow card on purpose so you miss a small game like Cagliari, but is that really the way to go when each 3 points from here means another leap, Aqueel, towards the title?
Absolutely not, man. You don't want to do anything like that, man. You want to. This is all, but like you mentioned, winning league titles are mental. It's a mental thing. You don't want to get any stupid yellow cards or any, nothing on purpose either. Obviously, at this point, no slip up. Absolutely, Conte would shove a boot up somebody's ass if he was to, like, somebody would have to suggest that to him. But yeah, I don't see that happening at all, one bit. He needs to stay calm. He needs to keep composure. Everybody in the team needs to do that. Every game is crucial from here, whether it's Cagliari, whether it's Sassuolo right now, or anybody. You got to stay focused. You got to, and this is what this is what I've been noticing in the team. Everybody seems focused. They know they can see the prize at the end. When they talk about, when they get asked this question about Scudetto, and they always, give these answers in a way that they know that it's there. So it's more now. It's time to, like, recollect, refocus, compose ourselves, and just play out each game as it was the last game, as it is the final. And don't slip up, don't get any stupid yellow cards for argument's sake or anything like that. Just, stay in the moment, get the job done. It's far more important right now than it has ever been.
100%, bro. So in context of everything, let's just take a look at this league table, right? Yeah. So playing this game, this is our game in hand. So when people are saying, there's still 30 points to play for, there's not. There's 27 points still to play for, really, because this is our game in hand. And I was on the phone to Bruno yesterday, and he's like, you're not nervous. I'm like, I'm nervous, but you know why I'm not entirely nervous? Who the F thought Benevento was taking points from Juventus, man? Who thought they were going to drop against Torino? I didn't think Milan would draw last week or drop as many points as they had as well. This game in hand that we have against Sassuolo, it's now become a not must win. And I don't give a shit what anybody says. This is not a must win. Of course, if you want to get all alpha and say, no, we have to win because otherwise we'll lose the momentum, Pazza Inter will crash from here, that's fine in theory, because, we've experienced that before. But right now, when looking at this league and this gap, if we were to drop points against Sassuolo, all we need to do is come back strong and win against Cagliari. I'll still be really gutted if we don't get the 3 points against Sassuolo, because I will have those thoughts and those anxieties. But Aqueel, when we look at the ladder, and take into account the fact that Milan and Juventus play each other on match day 34.
Yeah.
They both need to come up against Atalanta again, I'm pretty sure. Milan still have Lazio as well. Aqueel, man, how many wins do you think it will take for us to just put complete daylight into this Scudetto?
2 games. I see 2 games.
2 more
only.
games.
2 more games. Whether it's this one, Sassuolo, Cagliari, or we have another easy, not easy, but we have another game coming out. I think Spezia or somebody. So we get these 2 games right now, and then we get another one. I think it's a done deal then. 2 more games.
Yeah, 2 more wins on the bounce, and it'll be almost impossible for our rivals to come back. They would have to win each and every game, including both beating each other, which I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think they can do that. I don't think both teams can win that game, and it'll almost be dusted. Guys, 19 people here watching this video now. If you're in here, smash a like and leave a comment as well. We've been going for 36 minutes. I'm happy to pretty much call it there. Last thing. Prediction, Aqueel. Who's going to score? When are they going to score? Let's do a nice detailed prediction. So if we get it really, really right, we can gloat afterwards.
Yeah. I love it when we get them right, even close to it. I wouldn't want to comment on the Bologna prediction, but this week I think Sassuolo's record against us is a little concerning. To be, if you're talking completely statistical point of view, somehow they just turn up, and their goalkeeper usually has the best game of his life against us. So, having said all that, given our run, given our form, and the way we've been playing, I think we will put up 2 goals against Sassuolo tomorrow. I think it's going to come from Lukaku and Lautaro, and in return, I think we're going to concede a goal. Again, Sassuolo, again, they're going to keep attacking. They're going to keep moving the ball a lot. They'll find chances. I think they'll get a goal. So I think, in my opinion, given all the statistical point of view, keeping everything in mind, I think it'll be a 2-1 victory for Inter.
Fantastic. Yo, what's up, Ricky Buzz? Always supporting the channel. Go over to his channel and give him a like as well. He's putting out some Inter content as well. Well done. Robin, again, people weren't wrong when they said Inter versus Juve match day 37 would be the decider. It will decide whether Juve makes CL or EL. Bro, I'm just getting those thoughts right now of us already mathematically champions and Juventus needing 2 wins out of 2 in the last 2 games to make UCL. And they think that we're just going to go out and have a good day with the boys on the pitch because we're already champions. But Conte's got them backs up against the wall in the dressing room going, winning the title is not good enough. You need to bury these peasants for life, for good. And that would be the best thing. Sama says 10 games, 30 points. If we secure 7 wins, it's mathematically over. Brother, I can tell you right now, I love how technical you're being, but we do not need 7 wins to win this league title. We do not need 7, bro. We need 4 or 5, in my opinion, man. Because when you realistically think about it, brother, are Milan really going to win 9 out of 9 games? Are Juventus really going to win 10 out of 10 games? Let's just go out on a really optimistic limb and say they win 7 apiece, which is going to be near impossible. If they win 7 apiece and they get 21 points each, bruv, we need to win 4 games or 5 games, and we've got it mathematically. So when you think about it like that, Aqueel is right. Win the next 2. Bruv, start putting banners up on the wall. Start carving crests. I'll start getting my little tattoo of 19 right next to my chest on here. So we'll talk about that in 2 games' time. But if we are actually trying to predict it here, win these next 2 games, it's game, set, match. It's championship point done. Inter 3, Sassuolo 0 with a clean sheet for Handanovic. What else we got? Well, I want us to win against Juve and have the team celebrate with a smooth celebration. Yeah, look, we'll just have to see what happens, man. Aqueel, any final words or any final thoughts before we depart in peace?
Yeah, I mean, like Samir said, 3-0, Handanovic clean sheet. I hope so too. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. And given our, form, we can do it. We just don't know which Sassuolo side is going to turn up this week in tomorrow's game. So, but yeah, hopeful. It's going to be a tricky game. Going back to that, so it's going to be a tricky game. We have to stay composed. things can get away when they see like the prize is so close. And again, I'm sure as the players, they're also thinking about how many points are we away from it? How can we secure it nice and easy and nice and early? So sometimes you can lose focus. So we don't want to do that, especially against Sassuolo and these tricky sides. So I think tomorrow's objective is going to be simple. You go out there, you play the game with a cool head, get the right mindset in, get the goals in early, try to get them early, and just close out this game. Once you close this game out, it'll be an easier road from here. But definitely tricky game. But I'm very much hopeful that we're going to get this done.
Yeah, Gerald says Milan haven't been the same since Zlatan insulted Lukaku and his mother. Yep, that's some real voodoo shit right there. To be fair though, I think Zlatan they are re-signing him for another season on 7 million. It's a real 50-50 move for me. If I was making the decision, you know what? I probably would have made the same decision. I probably would have signed him again because they're currently shitting themselves that they don't have anyone mentally tough enough to keep them going. Despite Zlatan, and I said it then and I'll say it again now, the whole reason we went through to the Coppa Italia semi-finals is because Zlatan lost his head completely, gave us that game. And because of that, it was so easy to roll them over 3-0 in the next derby. However, without Zlatan there, they wouldn't be pulling together these gritty wins in the back end half of the season that have been keeping them in second. People need to really check the table and say this Milan side is still second and it's match day 29. If this Milan side finishes second, what a season. If they make the top four, fantastic season. And most of it can be credited to Zlatan because I'd love to be a fly on the wall of the dressing room, man, when he's in there. What about you, Aqueel?
100%. You can, he gets a lot of hate. He gets a lot of criticism for who he is. But he is that, centerpiece in that project. And, their majority of their success is because of him and because of his mental toughness, his physical presence, and his goal scoring prowess. So he does these things on and off the pitch. So I think they'll definitely sign him again. There's absolutely no question about it. But a huge success for them if they finish second. If they finish in top four, big season for them. Nobody expected that.
Yeah, guys, it's only 7:20 in the morning in Sydney. If you guys keep the comments coming, I will stay on. Aqueel can dip whenever he likes, but I ain't got nothing to do. School holidays is the best thing in the whole world. I love being a teacher. No one be jealous or judge. No one told you couldn't do that job either. So winning the league plus Juve not making it to the CL would be the best thing to happen to football this season. Yeah, look, I said it. I've been saying it all season to a lot of my people in the group chats. If Inter can win the league and Milan misses out on the UCL, that would be the best thing to happen to football. And as it goes on, it's still the best thing to me because in my head, I can't wrap my head around Juventus not being in the Champions League. If that does happen, that's like a second Scudetto this season. We'd have two. But I really don't. What are your thoughts, Aqueel, man? Like,
definitely.
Do you think there's a legit chance that they can miss out?
I don't see it. No, I don't see that. No, not at all. I think they're going to be in it. But just as a fan's perspective or as just thinking out loud, if they don't, it'll be a huge blow for them. And given that they're obviously going through some changes. Pirlo came in last season. He's trying to implement some different methods in that system. It's going to be a huge blow. I think if they don't make it to Champions League next year, I think they're going to crumble a little bit more. I don't know what's going to happen with Ronaldo. I don't think what's going to happen with a lot of their players, but that'll be a huge blow. But honestly, I think they'll make it. There's no question about it. I think they are a team that that knows how to believe. I mean, they've been no hate and no disrespect, but they've been a good team in the Serie A for the last few seasons. So you got to give them credit when it's due, and I think they'll make the Champions League shortly next year.
If they don't, it's a parallel universe, man. So I don't know. 16 people still here. Keep the comments up. Make sure you like the video. I'll keep going for a little bit longer. Will says, I want us to lock in Conte for the next few seasons. Bro, that is most likely 99% happening, especially if we win the title. I think stop saying that. If we win the title, Conte will be re-signing and extending, not by another 2 or 3 years. I think they'll just bump the contract up to 2022. 4 years, though. We can't. You reckon we commit to another 4 years with him?
I think he's gonna want some security as well. I mean, if he gets us the title, when he gets this title, in the 2021 season, our aim is going to be, making a run in the Champions League next season, continue on this. If we lose him in a year or 2 years, it's going to be a huge blow for the team. Then in my opinion, I think all that hard work that the team has put in, the management has put in, is just going to crumble. It's going to fade. So we have to lock him in. There's no team that's not keeping an eye on him, on his contractual situation or his relationship with Inter. So, we have to think long term as well. When you build something and you work so hard, when you wait so many years to build something like this, and now we're at that point, I think you want to lock this guy in. I think he's been the best signing. I mean, if you make all the players and coaches combined, I think he's been the blessing. He has been our best signing in the last decade or so. Having Conte, I think, is for next 4 years will be a huge up for us.
Samir says top 4 predictions: Inter, Milan, Juventus, Atalanta. That's a pretty good shout, bro. That's a pretty good shout.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I actually see Atalanta winning the most games from here on until the end of the season. When they were eliminated from the Champions League, I kind of thought, hell for leather, they're going to keep grinding out and just getting some comfortable results, some not so comfortable results. Jono says Inter, Atalanta, Milan, Napoli. Summer says no way, Conte needs the boot after this season. I can't tell if he's being sarcastic anymore, because he's now part of the last 2% of Inter fans that sound proper retarded when they talk like this. But honestly, man, there is no coach in world football that's currently as consistent and has their team playing at a level that Conte does. And I've said it before and I'll say it again: if this Inter entered the Champions League in the back end of the season, it would be a different side. So yeah, guys, just letting you know, Samir, the head honcho here at Inter Worldwide, even though he never shows his face, is still saying that Antonio Conte is not the best man for the Inter job. But that's okay. We let him talk sometimes. If things go our way in the next few games and we wrap it up, not trying to jinx it, then how do you guys see us faring in this next season's CL? Honestly, I think that we go on to do really well and make the round of 16. But yeah, after that, it's pretty much a ball game from there. What do you think, Aqueel? How do you think we can go in the round of 16?
Yeah,
do you think we get to the round of 16 or further?
No, I think we definitely want to go into round 16. I think we will. But again, I think it all really comes down to how we manage this off season. How do we manage our players? How do we manage the squad? Do we get some more reinforcement, especially for the left side? Get a backup striker? I think it all comes down to how much the management invests in going into the next season. If we play our cards right, we definitely go into around 16. And from that point, to be really honest, it'll be a matter of who just wants it more. And knowing Conte, knowing this team, seeing this team for the last couple of seasons, there's hunger. There is hunger. There is that passion. There's that drive to go forward. I think realistically, round of 16 to quarterfinals, it can be done.
Yeah, Nick Knox, do you trust Conte in UCL even though he hasn't done well there? Bruv, at the end of the day, beggars can't be choosers. Yeah, we just qualified for this tournament for the first time in, 8 seasons 2 years ago. We haven't made it out of the group stage. Spalletti didn't make it out of the group stage. Conte didn't make it out of the group stage. And when we did get knocked out, we've gone on a vibe that no one could have predicted. We're full steam ahead trying to win our first trophy, major trophy, league title in 10 years. Bro, if you can't trust a manager like Conte with what he's doing at the moment, who are you going to trust? And who's available on the market? And if anybody says Allegri, I'll slap the name out of your mouth, man, because he is a good manager. Don't get me wrong, but we're not bringing in a manager to replace something that's going so well. And more importantly, these players love Conte. Some of these players came here just for Antonio Conte, and they'll leave if Antonio Conte ships out ASAP. We need the identity to be deeply rooted into this club, that we are winning and we are on the right track to success. What will happen in the Champions League next season? Let's give him a chance in pot 1. guys, we've been in pot 3 for the last how many years? And at the end of the day, we've had to come up against some really, really tough sides. Let's see how we go if we end up in the first pot and give it a proper go. Because at the moment, you can't judge Antonio Conte's Champions League's campaigns that specifically. I was really pissed off when we went out to Madrid. Really pissed off. But at the end of the day, we're doing really, really, really well. Jono says, funny how we have no money but looking to extend contracts. Bro, you know my thoughts on that. We've been talking about it all week. The media spinning some serious shit. And now finally, Juventus's fragilities and cracks are starting to show where even the media can't keep their name out of their mouths. So, Aqueel, the negative headlines around Inter, they'll never stop to the point where I just wake up every day and I'm comfortable with shitty news.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's what they do. That's what happens. Obviously, when team is putting up, it's getting up there, and they always want to talk about the side stuff, the stuff that don't really matter. They want to try to distract the team, anything that they can do to, obviously they want to be in the news too. Inter is a team that everybody's talking about right now, so I don't blame them. It's fine. It's media. It's open media. They can talk about whatever they want. But I've read a little bit of a few articles from sources outside of Italy regarding Suning's situation and some financial situations for Inter. Things are not that bad. We talked about, we heard that Chinese government is putting a lot of sanctions on Suning. They're not letting a lot of money going out of the country. It's true, but it's more structured. They just want to create more structure around it. They don't want to just give them a free hand that they can dump out all the money. So it's more, they're just doing some more checks and balances. They want to just keep an eye on it, see what's happening. I think the money is not going to be a huge problem. Economically, yes, because of the pandemic, we're going to be restrained. We're going to be tight on the budget. Hopefully we don't sacrifice any players. I don't hope we don't sacrifice on contracts and stuff like that. I know Lautaro, there was some news about Lautaro, negotiating his own contract pretty soon with Inter. I think we have to do that. I think we have to give in the right contracts to the right players, give the right amount of money. And you never know. Next season, hopefully the attendance will be allowed to come back in. That will generate some revenue. The TV deals, we have the new sponsor deals probably coming up. So there's avenues that we're getting. Obviously, when we've been the title, that's a big influx of money as well. So I think financially we'll be okay. It won't be a huge problem. I don't think so.
Yeah, well said. Guys, it's definitely time to wrap this up now. So thank you very much to Aqueel for joining me for another match preview. I actually think I avoided the match prediction, which isn't a good look. So let's just go really, really quickly. I haven't done an anti-jinx in ages. It's time for a good old-fashioned anti-jinx. Let's go 2-2. And it's reminiscent of the game against Parma where, wait, was it Parma? No, we dropped points at some point this season where Alexis Sanchez missed a penalty to I forget. Was it Sampdoria?
I think so. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I can hear you. All good. Yeah, it was Sampdoria. I reckon it'd be reminiscent of that Sampdoria game where we've got the game covered, but we just don't convert our chances, and there's a bit of anxiety. Of course, I'm doing this on purpose so that we win 4-0. But yeah, from myself, Anthony, and from Aqueel, thank you to everybody who joined in on the chat. Thank you to everybody who liked the video, and we will see you after Sassuolo for more Inter Worldwide. Ciao, ragazzi.
See ya.